Hello, welcome back. In today's video, we're going over the home office deduction for your self-employed business. And this includes anyone who gets a 1099, is considered self-employed, a sole proprietor, or if you have a qualified joint venture. I'll have another video in the description below about that, or single member LLC. So in all of these cases, you're taxed using a Schedule C with your personal return. So this is the easiest and most common option for a business. And in this video, we're going to go over how you take the home office deduction. I'll be showing you everything you need to keep track of on a spreadsheet template that looks like this, and you'll have the option to purchase that or create one following what I go over in this video, and at least you'll understand everything you need to keep track of to deduct the home office for taxes. And then I'll be showing you how to actually do that yourself in DIY tax software, FreeTaxUSA, which is actually free for everyone, even if you have a business. You can check out the last two videos in this series if you haven't already. There's one for getting started in FreeTaxUSA and another video for starting your actual business in FreeTaxUSA and entering income in 1099s. Amanda here, you're watching The Business Finance Coach, where I simplify all of these fun technicalities of taxes and such to help you succeed, because these things are just tools that should support you and not hold you back. I give away a free business spreadsheet template, which you can use to keep track of your accounting, quarterly taxes, and end of year taxes. And you get that completely for free. Check out the links in the description below. Otherwise, if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now let's jump back in to the home office deduction. Here we are in the spreadsheet template for the home office deduction. Over here on the left, we have some questions that help you know if you qualify. Generally, as long as you are truly self-employed, right? You have a 1099 business, a single member LLC, sole proprietor, you work for yourself, and you have a home office, you're typically going to qualify. These questions ask, was your home office used exclusively for business? That means that you did nothing personal in that space. Now, you don't need to worry about this too much. In the past, you may have heard not to take the home office deduction because it was an audit trigger. This was true. This was about 30 years ago, though, that this was true. And the problem was that the IRS was auditing all home offices because they were winning, because the taxpayer couldn't prove that they didn't use the home office exclusively for business. However, the judges ruled that they shifted the burden of proof, which means that the IRS had to prove that someone didn't exclusively use their home office for business. And so the IRS stopped auditing home office deductions, and like I said, as long as you reasonably qualify here, you would say yes. Now, was it used regularly for your work or business? You need to say yes. Is it your principal work location? Now, you might say no to this. Many people would. Maybe you have another office location, or maybe you work at client locations, in which case you'll probably be able to answer yes to this last question, which is, well, did you use the home office for managerial work, such as, your accounting, making phone calls, your scheduling? And then you would qualify with 3 yeses here. Now, other information you're going to need, we're going to go over this when we enter your home office in the DIY tax software, FreeTaxUSA. But essentially, you want to keep track of each home office that you have. If you move, if you live in different houses, you want to keep track of the name of the home office, the address, the date you started using the home office, ended using it. You want to keep track of if you rented it or if you owned it. If you owned it, we're going to include your cost basis right here, because you're going to be able to take depreciation on the home, versus if you rented, you'll be able to consider your rent payment. Then you want to consider how much of your total time in your business did you actually use the home office. And then we want to have a way to allocate our expenses for the entire house to the home office. And we typically do that based on square footage. So you can say, what's the square footage of your home office? What's the square footage of the entire house? And then that's going to give us an allocation of 10%, in this case, 200 by $2,100. And there are two methods for how we can take the home office deduction and actually calculate the amount. The simplified method gives you $5 per square foot. So in this case, it'd be 200 square foot by $5, $1,000. That's limited to 300 square foot. And typically the actual method, which I'll explain next, is going to be better. Like it sounds, the actual method uses your actual expenses. So there are two types of expenses we need to keep track of that you can see here. We need to keep track of our indirect expenses, which are costs related to the entire house. Things like utilities. You can see I put each month's amount here, water and sewer, and any repairs and maintenance related to the entire house. Now in this case, we're owning the house. We put a cost basis amount here. That's what they paid for the house. And so you can see depreciation is calculated automatically from this amount over here. So if you have a $100,000 house that you bought, then you would take depreciation of $3,636 for the year. Now all of the total of our indirect expenses are going to be allocated based on this 10%. That was the square footage of our office to the total home. And so we can see our total indirect expenses here are $677. Now down here we have direct expenses. These are any direct costs of your home office area. So if you paid for a special type of internet for your business, or if you say remodeled or maintained your home office, then you could put those costs in here and include them based on the business use percentage. So I had said 99%. Almost all of the time was spent at using the home office. And so the total here is about $1,800, which is a lot more than the $1,000 we would have gotten under the simplified method. Okay, so when you log back into FreeTaxUSA, you can click Continue with your 2019 return, and then you can see it brought me right back to the business section. But wherever you're at, you can click on the Income tab and go down to Business Income Schedule C. Now, if you haven't watched my prior videos, you might want to pause this and go watch it now. I show you how to get set up in FreeTaxUSA and how to set up your business like it is here in FreeTaxUSA. I literally use this exact account for those last two videos. And again, the links are in the description below. So we're going to come in here and click Edit next to our business. And this is an overview page which shows us our income and our expense items. And here we can see our home office expenses. And I'm going to click Edit. So they're asking us, do you use part of your home for your business? We're going to say yes. And this is where we want to put in a description of our home office. Now here they're asking us, would you like to use the simplified method? So I'm going to say no, we'll use the actual. This is where they're asking us for the square footage of our home office to our total house. And they want to know the date we started using our home office. They're asking us if we own our home. So if we say yes, then we're going to take depreciation. If we said no, we would take rent. Now they're asking about daycare because daycares have special rules. And if you say yes, it'll apply the daycare rules. Down here, this is where we're going to enter our direct expenses and our indirect expenses. So we can see here that we had repairs and maintenance direct expenses of $400 that were just related to the home office, and the total for the entire home was $850. So we're not double counting these expenses. We're just listing the ones that were related to the entire house under indirect and ones related to the office only under direct. We then have our utilities, the ones for the entire house versus the ones for the home office, and that's it. Now, if we had a mortgage, we could put in mortgage interest. If we also paid real estate taxes, we would have real estate taxes to put in. Any insurance, and then we could save and continue. So you can see with all these expenses why the actual method is often more. Now this is a business use of home carryover. So we'll say we had no carryovers since we started using this home office in March of 2019. Now they're asking us about the cost of the home. So we're going to say that 100,000 that we already went over, and we'll say that the land is 0 in this case. They want to know if we sold the home in 2019. No. Did you make any improvements? No. And now you can see our home office deduction is $193 because the office is considered for business, and that means that it's a commercial real estate, and we're going to deduct the cost like we would commercial real estate, which means we're going to deduct it over 39 years. So we divide that cost of 100,000 over the 39 years, and that gives us our per year amount, 2,500. Then we divide that by 12 to get our per month amount. Then we need to only take the amount related to the 200 square foot out of our 2,100 square foot home, which was about 9.5%, about $20 per month. Mid-month is how we deduct real estate, which means that we get half a month for the month we placed it in service. And it's based on a per month calculation like you see here. So since we started using this office in March of 2019, we get a half a month for March. So that is 9.5 months, giving us our total of $193 for the year. So we're going to go save and continue. And now we're going to say, no, we don't have another home office. But if you did, you could say yes and add another home office. So if you move during the year, you might have 2. Now I'm going to go back and show you, now that we're on the summary page for your business, if you scroll to the bottom, you can click View Your Schedule C to make sure it looks correct. Click View. So you can see the income I entered in the last video. We don't have any expenses in here yet, but down here on line 30, expenses for the business use of your home. Attach Form 8829 unless using the simplified method. So that's that $5 per the square foot of the home. So that this section would be filled out if you're using the simplified method. We have almost the amount I guessed from my spreadsheet, 1,800 about. I thought it was a few dollars more. If we scroll down here, we can see the detail here. So this is the square footage of our home office, of our home, and then that gave us an allocation rate of 9.524%. We can see our expenses for the house. We can see these being totaled up and then allocated based on the percentage plus our depreciation. And so our total is 1,802. And they're looking at the total from our business because we can't take deductions for a home office if it would create a loss for our business. In that case, those expenses are carried forward, which we saw the screen that asked us if we had any carryover expenses from 2018. So if you're in that position, you do want to print this and be sure to keep track of it. And you want to be sure to save the copy of your depreciation schedule for any assets that you depreciate so that you can know what you put in for a cost basis and continue to do things the same way. So that's all for your home office deduction for our spreadsheet template and entering it in FreeTaxUSA. If you're interested in getting the template, check out the links below this video. If you're interested in the business spreadsheet template or any of the other videos and topics I've mentioned, be sure to check out the links in the description below. Otherwise, remember to subscribe if you're interested in being notified of my next videos. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Like or share this with someone who you think might appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.